Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am in a new space. So new that the window still has the sticker on it. Gotta work on that. But today we're gonna talk about something in Dorico, something that I've found that can be kind of confusing, which is when you want your parts to be a little different looking than your scores. Now I've been doing a lot of work preparing parts for either concert band, orchestra, small ensembles. I've been doing a lot of that lately, and this is something that I've been running into that was kind of frustrating, so I found a way around it, but there really is no solution. So what we're talking about first, let's say in your parts you have something that is repeatable. So for your players, it might be easier for them to just see repeat bars. But in the score, you don't want to see that. In the score, you want to see, exactly what the notes are, because that's what's best for the conductor. In the old days in Finale, oftentimes people created different files, which was bananas, right? You'd have a file that was Symphony number 1 - parts, Symphony 1 - score. So you'd have two different files, which means if you made a change in one, you had to make sure you made it in the other. Way too confusing, way too problematic. So in Dorico, you could create your score layout and then your parts, and then have separate layouts. Let's take a look at what that would look like. So here is our score, and we have these repeating sections. So if I was in the part, let's check out violin part 1. Maybe I only want to see this first measure and then the rest as repeats, because that would just make it a lot easier for the player. So if I was to select this, and then I would go over here to repeat structures and then create repeat region, right? I still have my notes overlapping, so what I would do is I would select all this and I would filter out my notes and chords, remove them. And now, great, I have this pretty little structure and it looks pretty clear. I even have the measure numbers above of how many repeats. But if I was to take a look at the score, you'll see that it's got the repeats in here and it's not showing the notes. And like I said, this is problematic. Let's say you have a big symphonic work. You don't want your conductor to have to check several pages back to see what are the notes that the players are playing in those repeated sections. The conductor needs to see exactly what's going on at all times. So this is a problem. So here's a few different ways we could solve this. So first, let's imagine the way we did it in Finale. So I'm going to go over here to Setup, and I've got my score and I've got my different layouts here for my different individual parts. So one thing I could do, if I really cared to do so, was to create another violin part. All right. And we're going to move this to the bottom. And I'm actually going to group this just so that I know what this is. This is with repeats. And we'll call this violin 1. Let's take a look. We have violin 1, and there is no music. So we have to create the music for this part. Also, if we were to take a look at the score, it's been added, but we're not going to want that because our goal here is to have separate versions of parts. So over here in the score, we're going to uncheck our with repeats violin. And what I recommend doing is let's take this first violin part, which looks like this. And then we're going to duplicate this. So that's this one right here. And then this has our first violin, but let's also add the other violin to it. So now you see it's violin 1 and 1. Now we take a look, and of course there is no music in here, but what we can do is we can select all of our music, all of our parts here, and we could copy, and then select into the first measure, paste special, or we could just paste. And now we have it. We could go back to Setup and then remove that first violin part. Now, why would we do that? That was a very clunky thing to do. Copying or duplicating the layout is because if this was a very long work with a lot of notes and you had your layout all set up with, let's say, a cover page or program notes page on the part, it's easier to just duplicate that so that you have the full layout, you have those template changes, and you don't have to recreate that in this new part. Now, this is still a very clunky way to go. So now you can see we have a part that has the repeats. And if we go to the score, this is our old part. So we're going to go back into our violin 1, and I got to be in write mode here. We're going to take this section that's actually repeated, and hitting R, we're just going to go ahead and put that back in. And then we are going to delete our repeat section. So if we look at our score now, our part looks normal. And then if we wanted to print, we could just print our other version, which would have the repeats. Now, like I said before, this is problematic because if in this huge, long symphony that you're writing, you've got changes, you've got to remember to make those changes and duplicate them into your printing part. So that's kind of messy, especially if it's a really long piece and you're not going to remember that. So you could do that at the very end, or you could do another method of hiding things with custom scale. Now, not everything actually has a toggle for hide, and that's why we're going to look at custom scale. Now, I wish it did, and this is something that people have complained about on the forums, of making sure that scores and parts can see different things, similar to local and global settings, but we're just not there yet, maybe in the future. And currently there's not a hide button for every object. So custom scales is going to be the way to go. So now back in our original part, which is up here, what we're going to do is we are going to select all of this, our measures here, and we're going to go back in and create our bar repeat. Now, if we go to our score, which if I select anything in here and I hit the W key, it'll take me to my score. We can see the repeats in here, right? But let's get rid of this in the score. So we're going to select this 4, or however you want to select the repeat structure. We're going to go down here to the bottom corner, custom scale, and we're going to set it to 1. Now it's still in there, but it's a lot smaller. Now if we go to the part, here we go, we can still see those repeats. Let's select all of this. We are going to filter out our notes, and now we're going to set them as custom scale 1. And now we have our violin part with repeats, and we have our score without repeats. And the really great thing about this is that if we were to make some changes, like let's say we throw this down the octave, if we go back to our part, it's down the octave and it's correct. Or if we were to say, hey, all of a sudden, this is pits. Now up here, you would see that. Now, of course, it probably doesn't make sense for the repeat to start here, but this is just an example, right? So you don't have to get too serious about what this is going to be. So yeah, probably we should have our real notes in there, which if you needed to select those notes again, you could just select this measure, or you could scroll, and then you could change your custom scale back to 100, or you could just turn it off and it's back. And see, it all looks pretty. Now you could do this with a variety of objects. If you needed to hide some rests between two different parts, or the part and the score, you could do that because it seems to be pretty local to the part or score that you're working on. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with engraving situations. But something else that could really speed up your workflow in a situation like this, where we have a whole bunch of parts that need to be showing repeats in their parts, but not in the score, we're going to run a script. And this is a very simple script. There's lots of stuff going on in Dorico. There's lots more to learn. And there's also a lot going on here in my brand new studio. So follow the channel so you can stay tuned. So let's go to our part. We're going to check out violin 2 because this repeats as well. So what we're going to do is that same exact process we did before, but we're going to do it with a script. So to do that, if you see up here in the scripts, I'll cover more about this in another video, but this is something simple that we're going to do just to really show the power of scripting. So we're going to select this area here. Let's add in our bar region. And now let's select our notes, right? So we're going to select this. We're going to use our filter for notes and chords. And now we're going to do that custom scale. But before we do that, we're going to go to script, start recording script. And any action I do right now is now being recorded as a script. So I'm going to custom scale, set it to 1, enter. Now it's disappeared. I'm going to go in and I'm going to end recording macro. And you see, I already have that saved as custom size 1, but you'll want to do that too. So now let's go to our score. So now in our score, what we're going to do is we are going to select our repeat section and we will run last script, and it's hidden. Let's see that again from the score starting perspective. Let's select our notes here, or these measures, add in a region, and then we are already having the region selected. We're going to go to script, run last script, and it's hidden. Let's do the same thing for these 2 sections here. Create those repeats. They're already selected because we've created them. Go up here, run last script. They're hidden. Now let's go into our parts. So let's go into viola. And now we're going to select our notes, right? Filter out notes and chords. Run last script. And then we're going to move to the next layout. Same process. And now you could get this going even faster and faster with keyboard commands. So I have a keyboard command for run last script. I also am using TouchOSC, which I talk about all of the time here. And I've got a filter so that I just have to select something, and then I could filter notes and chords, I could filter rests, I could filter dynamics, and then I could hit my run last macro, and then it's all set to custom 1. You could also just have your macro or your keybind as run script, and then you could just select that. Let's see what that looks like. So here in our double bass, we're going to select our notes, filter, and now instead of running last script, we're just going to run script, and now we have to find where is that script, which mine are in a specific location. Wherever yours are is wherever yours are. But in this situation, we have rests too. So we need to select those as well. And then we can, run last script, and they're hidden. So now we've got a score with all of the notes in that. And then each one of our parts here has repeats. So hopefully this is a simple fix to a situation that is somewhat disappointing in Dorico, that scores and parts have to relate so much. But running this script will speed up your workflow to accomplish this change really quickly over and over and over, especially if you have it a lot of times with repeating notes. So hopefully this saves you some time and some headaches in having repeats in your parts and not in your scores. But let me know how this works for you, and if there's any specialty scripts that you're running, we'd love to hear about that. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope you learned something. Be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.